Hey folks, how the hell are ya? I'm Houston.
And I'm Kaylen, and you're listening to Crime or Reason.
What's up, everybody?
What up, folks?
How are we doing?
We're great.
Are we?
I don't know.
We ask this every single time. I actually had to drive through an entire fucking tsunami to get here today.
A whole tsunami, but it never hit here.
I know, which is crazy because we don't live that far away.
Right.
But, like, when I left my house, there was nothing. And as soon as I got to Mormon, it was like, boom. I drove through the next couple little towns, and, like, there were people literally, like, caution lights on, pulled over on the side, not even trying, and I'm, like, trekking it like I've got to fucking record.
A whole tsunami.
A whole tsunami. It was intense.
It still looks like it might rain here, but...
Yeah, well, it's supposed to pour down in, like, an hour.
Oh, boy.
So maybe we'll have some good creepy background.
Thunder.
Thunder. I almost sung a song and I had to stop.
Thunder. You said thunder.
See if you guys can figure out which song it was going to be.
I have a feeling it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Is it raining?
It's raining.
It just started.
It just started raining. Oh, it's pouring.
Oh, can you, I want to look out the window.
At least there's no explosions happening out this window.
Oh, we're opening the curtains.
Curtain call.
Okay, so we have opened up the curtains. We are now looking. It is literally pouring.
Yeah, those are big drops.
Those are, if all the rain drops are lemon drops and gum drops. That's Barney. Can we get
what
sued
a
for
rain
that?
that would be.
But yeah, so now we have the nice eerie background.
I just saw something.
What was it?
I don't know. That's why I panicked.
I mean, what could it be? It's in the middle of the day.
It just...
Ooh, was it a snaky?
Ew.
I love them.
I hate them.
Blue-tailed lizards have been out intensely this year.
Really?
Yeah, those and the dragonflies. Have you guys had dragonfly issues?
Dragonflies.
There are so many snake doctors literally everywhere.
Snake doctors?
Yeah.
What's a snake doctor?
A dragonfly? Do you not call them that?
No.
It's a real thing. It's because, like, they're believed to, like, stitch up and patch up snakes that have been injured.
They're magical.
Yeah, basically. It's a real thing, though.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
A snake doctor.
Snake doctors,
Maybe
dragonflies.
witch doctor, too.
Anyway, so, yeah. We got this nice little bit of rain coming through. It's also starting to get really dark. Really excited. So,
It's disgusting.
let's... Shut the fuck up. We love the rain. I've literally been boiling all summer long. You can deal with it raining.
You know what happens? Rain turns to snow, snow turns to ice, and ice turns to me wrecking my car.
I can't help it. You don't know how to drive it.
How many wrecks have you had, Houston?
2 in the past month.
So I can drive.
Yeah, but they weren't my fault. One of them was a malfunction in my car, and the other one was because a deer ran out in front of me in the middle of town.
A whole deer.
It was a 10-point buck. It was a 10-point buck. I was literally driving through the middle of town.
The middle of town.
I was going under a viaduct.
An overpass.
It's a viaduct.
It's an overpass.
It's literally a viaduct. Anyway, so I was going under a viaduct, and a deer was just like, you want to know what? I choose death.
I choose death.
It just, like, came out in front of me. And
that thing was mangled.
Yeah, I hit it doing, like, 45, but my car's a tank. I took one bump, what the fuck? I took one dent in my car, and I completely butchered that.
The deer was mangled.
Yeah, it was intense, but, you know.
What year is your car?
Old.
Yeah, the older, the better they hold up.
I don't know. Based on physics, that's not a good thing. Cars are meant to break apart so that it doesn't trap the kinetic energy, which causes more damage.
Well, I wasn't saying it was safer. I was just saying that it's a tank.
My car's actually not that old. It's like in the 2010s.
Mine's a 2006.
Oh, yeah, yours is definitely
Mine is
older
older than yours. A dragonfly!
A snake doctor!
How weird that we just talked about rain and it started raining, and then we talked about dragonflies and now there's a dragonfly.
Yeah, the rain stopped. That's sad, but it's still pretty. We can keep the view. It's a good day, we reckon. Don't hit any deer. Don't hit any cars. But Kaylen's got a good episode for us today.
I do.
Do you?
I do. Sometimes.
I think you told me what it was about, and
episodes.
I've honestly forgot.
Honestly, sometimes don't have good episodes. This one's going to be kind of on the shorter side.
I hope.
It's kind of an open... Such a bitch. It's kind of like it took a while for it to be an open and shut case, but it did become an open and shut case. So, I'm pretty excited.
Tell me about it, stud. Rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John.
I don't know how to respond to that.
That was her line from Grease.
Aww. I forgot.
Yeah.
Olivia Newton-John passed. My whole heart.
You forgot?
No, I just thought she was living. It's like Betty White. Like, she's just still out here living her life. Like,
oh, no. I've
living
woken
my
up
life.
every single day this year and been like, Betty White's dead. My life sucks because of it.
Like, I don't know.
In my area, in my neck of the woods, we've had a lot of murders here lately. Shocker. But actually over in Logan County, have you seen any of that?
No. Tell me about it.
I'm not going to do any allegedlys because they're all really, really fresh. Like, they all happened within, like, a week and a half of each other.
Yeah.
And all of them were in Logan County, which is next door to where I live, and I also used to live in Logan. An older gentleman who got in a fight about money with his son and shot him and killed him. And then there was a break-in, and the person who broke in got shot in the abdomen by the homeowner. Then there was a man who was shot and killed in his driveway at like 11 o'clock one night. And then the day after that, over in Olmsted, there was a 20-year-old military service member from Clarksville, which is like an hour away, who was found dead. And like Olmsted's got like 4 houses. Like, it's like a tiny place.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And so there's like a lot of, like, KSP is
busy.
Yeah, they're investigating a lot going over there right now. So
busy. Speaking of true crime, can we talk about how many explosions there have been here lately?
Like the one
in Evansville?
In our episode?
That too. But there was the one over in Evansville where 3 people died.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're starting to point fingers at like a gas leak.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was one in Minnesota.
Yes.
That a house exploded. And then there was another one just a little bit ago, like, I think it was like the day before yesterday, where a 3rd place has exploded.
I guess explosions don't really resonate that much with me because my area is very well known for meth, so I'm used to, like, explosions often.
That's the thing, though. Like, none of them are correlated with meth.
I know, but you tell me, like, a house or a building blows up, and I'm just like,
meth.
They were Breaking Bad in that bitch.
We had a huge fire here in Owensboro whenever, right before I went on vacation, and it was over on Carter, and they had
over there,
laundromat,
like
and it burned down 4 people's homes.
Yeah.
Because they were all connected.
They're all so close, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was a quadplex, along with the laundromat, and there was a gas leak.
Right.
And I think somebody was in there smoking.
Right. So. We have structural fires all the time at home. Like, my house burned down in 2014.
Right.
And then 2 days later, 3 houses down from us on our street burned down. And then years later, like back in 2020, one of my friends died on that same street in a house fire. Like, we just have house fires a lot.
Yeah. So we are going to hop into my case about Rose Marie Moniz. Rose lived in New Bedford, Massachusetts. She was one of 6 children. Her family was very close, and they were really big in the seafood industry. That's one thing I found. I couldn't find really much else about what the family did, but at the time, she was 41. She was a single mother. And in some of my research, I was able to find that she may have been disabled, but there was only like one source that said that, so I'm not fully sure exactly where. Don't quote me on it. Her sister Kim said that Rose had a big heart and she loved everybody. Rose's father was coming to pick her up for a doctor's appointment on March 23rd of 2001. When her father walked into her apartment, he found her body in a pool of blood, along with multiple things thrown about in her house. Her purse had also been emptied and some money had been stolen out of it. Now, when he found her, Rose had been severely beaten with what seemed to be a fireplace poker, a cast iron kettle, and most importantly, a conch shell.
What?
A conch shell.
Do I have to say it's strange?
It's very strange. It's a strange weapon of choice.
Yeah. I could see how.
Right.
It could be a weapon.
And it was like, there's pictures of it. It's like one of the big conch shells. So the Bristol County prosecutors, which Bristol County is New Bedford, kind of like Owensboro is Davis County. Bristol County prosecutors said that the autopsy report describes severe head injuries, including skull fractures, open lacerations, and other injuries resulting in bleeding in both ears, broken nose bones, and a broken left cheekbone. So she was very severely beaten.
Yeah.
Awful, awful. The medical examiner also noted multiple traumatic injuries all over the rest of her body, and police noted that there were no signs of forced entry. The motive appeared to be robbery because of the purse, of course, having money missing from it. Now, more than 100 people were interviewed for this murder back in 2001, but they were never able to catch who it was in 2001.
Okay.
They even looked at Rose's own son as a possibility, but because he was in the house I'm pretty sure he was there while she was there.
Right. She's like, you said she was in her 40s, right?
Correct.
Do we know how old her son is here?
No. I could hardly find anything about her children. I found stuff about her brothers and sisters having done interviews with different people, but her son was never really mentioned, other than the fact that one of her brothers said that they even looked at her son as a possible suspect.
We can assume that it's not the son then?
Correct. The case went cold for almost 20 years.
So 2021? 2020? 2019?
I'll tell you. The case was reopened in 2019 because of the updated DNA technology. So, the newer advances that they had, they were able to test it a little bit better, which, like I said, the conch shell is important because they retested it for forensic evidence, specifically the inner areas of it where the killer's fingers could have reached. Because what they found was the spikes had hit into her head, so the killer would have had to put his fingers inside of that conch shell and use it
to get the
force behind it to hit her.
Which at first that didn't really make sense, but if the conch shell's large enough, he couldn't get his hand around the top. It would have to be inside.
Inside, yep.
That also feels like a lot of commitment from that killer, because having your fingers inside of a conch shell and your fingers are going to be sliding in there no matter how much of a grip. Oh, does that come into play?
I didn't find a whole lot about how the grip was. I don't think the killer has spoken much about it.
Do we know who the killer is?
We do. 2019.
Okay, let's go.
2019. Now, the big shocking news in this case was that the DNA on the conch shell, on the inside of the conch shell, matched
the dad
with Rose's half-brother.
Okay, I knew it was
not the dad. Not the dad.
Sorry.
So it was not her son. It was not her dad. It was, however, her half-brother.
I don't know what part of me made me think that it was the dad.
I think I told you it was a family member before. You're killing me so
No, I don't think you did. I was just like, it is.
It is.
Go ahead.
But, so her half-brother's name is David Reed.
Fuck David.
Yeah. Not very nice. And obviously it was personal. It seems like it was very personal with the fact that, one, he robbed her.
Right.
Two, she was brutally beaten.
Right.
So, officials say that David was charged in 2003 for an attempted robbery and an assault of a woman named Maribel Martinez Alegria. He hit her while she was sitting in his truck, He pushed her out and stole her purse, which is obviously a running theme here. He's a robber. And then he left her bleeding profusely in a dark New Bedford alley.
I'm struggling to... Do we learn, like, his actual motive behind killing?
Robbery.
But just to, like, steal a purse. Like...
Money, yeah.
Yeah, but nothing about murder. Like, I can understand, like, breaking into somebody's house, stealing all their shit, and then, like, killing them in the process. But, like...
Your own sister?
What? But even that, just the purse.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love that.
I know. I'm not live, laugh, loving for it. But what they say the motive is robbery. He intended to rob his half-sister.
Let's go with it.
Now, I don't believe that he was, like I said, I believe he was charged, not arrested. And over a month later, Reed crashed his truck into a law enforcement vehicle during a police chase.
That's a good way to get caught.
Mm-hmm. He injured that officer in the crash, and he was caught. However, he was able to flee. He fled Massachusetts before his trial in 2004. So he was caught, but I guess released before he had his trial.
He probably made bail.
Yeah.
But who would be making his bail?
I don't know. He had family. I mean, they don't know at this point.
Yeah, but he's also out just, like, robbing people.
Yeah. But, I mean, maybe his family was taking care of him. I'm not sure on that one, but...
Yeah, we just don't know enough about the family to put those family ties together.
Yep. Throughout the years, Reed moved around from Florida to Hawaii to Alabama, and police finally arrested him again in 2015, but he was arrested for the alleged assault on Miss Martinez Alegria. So, he was arrested for that in 2015. However, she had passed away just 6 months before he was tried.
That sucks. Oh.
The prosecutors denied these charges because of lack of evidence in 2016, but he was still charged with attempt of fleeing the police, crashing his truck into the officer, and bail jumping.
Yeah, so that would be... He definitely, obviously got out on bail then. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like he actually got a bail bond.
Right.
Because you can't bail jump if, like, family pays it, you know?
Yeah, right.
So...
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so he got a bail bond, and then... We had a... Bail bonds are so weird to me, because...
I think so too.
Like, I don't always think that they're bad, but sometimes it does, like, give criminals the chance to do it. And, like, the risk of loss as a bail bondsman, like, that's a massive risk. Like, this guy isn't the only guy jumping bail. Like,
honestly.
Yeah, like, that is so much risk.
It's a big loss to take, yeah. Because of all of that, he was sentenced to 3.5 to 4 years in prison. Therefore, his DNA was entered into the CODIS database.
Oh,
I wish you could see his face right
now. Oh, I love DNA.
I love DNA.
DNA is my favorite.
Yes, the CODIS database is the best thing they ever did. CODIS database.
Coitus. Do you know what coitus is?
Coitus.
Do you not know what coitus is?
Good Lord, if you keep doing this to me.
Hey Siri, what's the definition of coitus?
Coitus is a formal term. It means sexual intercourse.
You clearly don't watch the Big
Bang.
You clearly don't watch the Big Bang Theory.
Not at all.
That's how Sheldon refers to it.
Ay. No, we are talking about coitus. When the DA and the state police investigators took another look into Moniz's case in 2019, remember they were doing the DNA updated technology. They discovered that because the conscious spine came in contact with the killer's hand because he was able to put his fingers in the shell, that's where they tested it. And he was able to use it as a weapon that way.
You were saying the conscious spine? I thought you were saying conscious spine, like an aware spine. Like an awake spine.
An aware spine.
Yeah, like the spine is awake.
Right. That's an awake spine.
A knowing spine.
It's
aware.
Incredibly knowing spine that you have.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
So, it's okay. So he had put his fingers inside the shell, and that's where they decided to test for the DNA.
That is so good. It's so good.
Right, though. So the DNA inside the shell was a match with Reed in the CODIS system, and he was arrested for murder and charged with that assault and attempted robbery of Martinez Alegria. He was arrested in a shelter in Rhode Island, so he was living in a homeless shelter at that time. He was also charged for assault and attempted robbery of Martinez Alegria. He pled not guilty, and he's currently being held in his jail. Wait.
His own jail?
His own jail cell. He's currently being held in jail for Martinez's case, but he'll be arraigned in Fall River for the murder indictment of his sister. Now, I think it's important to mention, Reed, in 2001, when Rose passed, was a pallbearer at her funeral.
You said this to me.
Yeah.
I forgot that we were even talking about that case. I completely fucking forgot.
I was hoping you would forget.
Yeah.
He was a pallbearer at her funeral. Fred Kona, who is Rose's brother, said, "We had other people we thought it might be who actually threatened Rose. It turned out that the person carrying her coffin to the grave was the person who killed her."
Jesus Christ. What the fuck, man?
This man carried this woman to her grave after brutally murdering her.
And, like, he knows that. Like he's just thinking about that the whole time. And also, I think what's crazy about it, too, is, like, you can't really blame him for not being a pallbearer because, like, he had to keep up the act. However, you also can blame him for killing her.
Right.
So, fuck that guy.
So the brother said that at the time of the funeral that Reed was very quiet, unusually quiet, and pretty much after that he just disappeared, which of course we know he was traveling all over the United States.
What's crazy is if he just, like, straightened his life up after that, they would have never gotten his DNA and they would have never been able to find him.
Never have figured it out. It's insane.
The life of crime, guys.
Life of crime. Now, I wanted to take some time to talk about the family members and how they were affected. Rose's parents died before her case was ever solved.
Oh, I hate that. I hate seeing that so much.
Both of them passed. Her brother quoted, "My mother and father aged overnight. You could see it. It was really tough." And then her brother, Fred Kona, personally, he said, "He took one of my best friends, my sister. He robbed us all of a life growing old together."
That's rough. It's so rough.
Very rough. And, like, you gotta think, for all the brothers and sisters, they just look back and think, we let this man who murdered our sister carry her to her grave.
Right, but again, it's one of those
they
things
never knew. That's the thing.
You can't blame them.
And now, like, looking back, he is still in jail. He's not been tried yet, I don't believe. I haven't found anything about the actual trial that he's been through, so I'm assuming because of, like, COVID and everything going on, like, these are my favorite kinds of cases, is the ones that are cold and then they get solved.
Right.
But the problem is we don't have any kind of court documents or, like, anything that I can show to say, this is how he reacted, this is what he said his motive was, this is what he said he did.
Because it's so recent and relevant.
Yeah. So I am going to keep updated on the case. I would definitely like to hear what Reed has to say for himself. I would like to hear what he says his motive was.
Quite frankly, I don't give a fuck what he has to say, because he's a piece of shit.
That's accurate, but I'm saying just because I'd like to know what happened.
Like how that's one of those things where it's like the inner workings of somebody's mind.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's not that I like that stuff, it's just that I want to know. I'm
curious.
I'm nosy. I'm curious.
I think curious works. I mean, I'm nosy too.
I'm curious. So, but yeah, that is my case this time. It was, like I said, it wasn't really open and shut at the time, but now we have it solved. So.
God, that's so wild. You knew it was going to be wild when they were like, and the murder weapon was a conch shell.
A conch shell.
Yeah. And I was like, oh. Then you were like, then they found DNA in the conch shell. And I was like, in the conscious spine.
In the conscious spine.
In the all-knowing spine.
So, the reason that I'm really interested in finding out what the story is there were 3 different weapons he used.
Right.
The 3 weapons were the conch shell, the fireplace poker, and the iron kettle. So, I'm interested to hear what happened. she was brutally beaten, and I haven't been able to find the details of what actually happened. Like, that takes time. It's personal. It's intense. Like,
I'm sure there's an autopsy report somewhere, but
I wish I could find it.
Those are so hard to look at.
Right, and the court documents aren't released yet because it's not happened yet.
Right.
So, like, they can't release anything yet.
Right.
So, I don't know what happened, and I would love to know, and I will stay updated on it because it's a crazy one.
You can tell by the sound of this that his lawyers are going to have him plead insanity.
Probably.
Which, honestly, he might...
Yeah.
Sadly enough, he might actually get... But that's also one of those things where people are like, plead insanity. But I don't think people realize people a lot of times understand what pleading insanity does. Mm-hmm. Because that doesn't make you free. Right. Like, you're going to spend most, if not all of your life in rehabilitation in a mental institution. So it's not great either way.
Either way, you're still contained and you're not. I mean, it's either jail or a mental institution, and...
Right. Regardless, you don't deserve to be out.
Accurate.
Especially... killing your sister just a robber. The case was wild. Like I said, from the conch shell...
Wild.
To the conscious spine... To the stepbrother. And just for it to be something so petty. And Jesus Christ, to be in the pallbearer. I don't know.
Crazy.
I hope that we can find, like, an update or, like, trials or whatever happens soon so that we can kind of get, some closure for us. Especially, like, closure for us, closure for the family, right. Closure for everybody.
Sadly,
and I hate it for the parents.
There's no closure.
Yeah, I hate it that the parents are gone, but...
They won't know. Which maybe it's better they don't know that one of their children murdered the other child.
Yeah, that's probably the guilt that you would bear with that. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's rough. That was a crazy one, Kaylen.
Thank you. Well, I don't know if that's a compliment, but...
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. That's all we can ask for.
Thank you.
So, but I don't know. God, it's just one of those cases where you don't feel great afterwards.
Nope.
Which I feel like tend to be a lot of our cases.
Yeah.
That's why we have to do so many fun cases.
Right, we have to have those fun episodes, because we got to bring it back up.
Somehow.
So. Well, I hope you all enjoyed.
Yes. If you haven't checked out our merch shop yet, you can do that. Go to any of our social medias. Follow our link tree. We have our link tree linked to everything. And then you will see the option on our link tree for merch shop. Go get your Hey Folks, How the Hell Are You merch. So.
We love to see it.
It's fantastic. Make sure that you follow us on all of our social medias. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all at CrimeOrReason. And, get on there and engage with us. We love it. We loved talking to you guys. And
we love to hear from you all and getting some feedback on everything we're doing.
Yeah.
Seems like...
We've been getting a lot more feedback here lately. We've been getting a lot of emails. We've been checking our email now pretty much daily once we started realizing that a lot of stuff was coming through. So make sure that you guys are, getting in contact with us. Yeah. Our email, CrimeOrReason@gmail.com.
Leave us a rate and review on any of the platforms.
Yes,
we love to hear what you all are thinking about us. If we're good, we're bad, we're ugly, which
Kaylen, no.
I am. I'm a trash rat. So
Kaylen's the only pretty part about this podcast.
Aww. So
see, I'm a good liar. Just kidding.
Take it back.
Kaylen's so pretty.
Take it back.
All of my friends are so sick of me talking about how pretty Kaylen is.
Oh my gosh, I'm not though. I'm actually a trash rat.
She's not.
Every day.
She's a dumpster fire of a person, but so am I.
Dumpster fire.
With us together, we set ablaze to the world. But anyway, definitely come back for the next episode. It's sure to be spectacular. We're getting closer to Halloween.
Spectacular.
Yeah, keep an eye out for any news because we got some stuff that's coming, and also in Halloween we will be releasing like twice as many episodes. So it's gonna be fantastic. We got a lot planned. But
we got some spooky stuff planned.
Other than that,
we hope that you stay safe.
We hope you stay healthy.
And we hope that you stay criminal. Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.